I want to make sure that you can hear me because I'm going to be playing something while I put my makeup on. And I want to make sure that you can hear. Gotta mail these up. Because I did a deep dive on this. I don't even know how many years ago now it's been. I think it was 2017. And now somebody is wanting these files out of Hugh Hefner. Well, if you guys know anything, back when Brooke Shields was like 12 or 13, maybe even 10, I can't remember, he put her in the Playboy without her consent, with her mom and dad's consent, or her mom's consent, or something like that. And he put her in there with nothing on. And nobody said nothing about it. And I thought that was strange. So I did a big deep dive on Hugh Hefner. I think it was 2017. And I was like, man, if anybody was ever a predator, this is the one. Now, allegedly, I have to say. But back when I first started modeling in 2007 in Chicago, I was brought into the office and talked to the man twice on the phone as my modeling agency manager wanted me to go and pose on Playboy. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. One, my dad, I knew, always got the magazines, always. Two, I never saw nothing good come out of it. Three, I know you have to either be with him or someone in that category. And that just wasn't me, because I don't know if a lot of you know or not, but my own grandfather raped me from the age of 6 to 16. And I put him in prison. So I just want you to listen, and I'm going to stop it here and there, but I've got to get my makeup on and get ready because I've got to go today. But I just want you to listen to what's going on and how his wife, Crystal, is trying to protect her money because somebody wants this to come out. And she now is trying to say that it's human rights and all this. No, it's not. Not when there is unders in it, okay? So just take a listen to this while I put my makeup on. Everybody else that comes in, let everybody else know what we're listening to. We are listening to Crystal Hefner talk about how she wants to keep all of his diaries and all of these things hidden from the public due to there could be minors in there, blah, 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 blah. So as people come in, could someone please explain what's going on? Because I'm only going to stop to talk about this. And if you need to rewind it to the beginning and see what all I've said, you can. So let's begin.
Hefner's widow, Crystal Hefner, wants to keep his so-called sex diary private. She's sounding the alarm over concerns linked to her late husband's personal archives. She's urging officials in California and Illinois to investigate the way in which these personal files reportedly held by the Hugh Hefner Foundation are being safeguarded. The archives date back to the 60s, include nude images, possibly of underage girls, and Hefner's so-called personal sex diary. She was speaking alongside her attorney, Gloria Allred, today in Los Angeles. Crystal Hefner warned that
That's one thing I also want to say. Gloria Aldrich, aren't you the one that always is protecting the women that have been abused? And now you're trying to protect the truth from coming out of what was in Hefner's stash in his diaries, and it's going to get real explicit in a minute, so let's just listen.
Harm many women. She claims she was removed from the Hefner Foundation's board just yesterday after she raised these concerns.
Yes.
This is a civil rights issue.
That's me. That's
Women's bodies are not property, not history, and not collectibles. And no.
Matter of fact, this picture right here, let me show you, is what I look like when Hugh Hefner asked me twice to come and model for his magazine. It's hard for you to see. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's what I look like when he asked me twice. I was 30 years old, and he asked me twice, 2 different times at the modeling agency I worked for, to come and model at his Playboy magazine, and I said no. Both times. No, thank you. No. He didn't like no, but I said no. Anyway, because I knew, number one, and I said this before I started, I knew, number one, you had to sleep with him or you had to sleep with somebody, and that's not my gig. That's not my gig. So I said no. Number two, my dad always had those magazines. Hell to the no. Number three, I have a son, and thank God I didn't, because when my son moved into his first house, he put all Playboy magazines up. Oh, imagine if his mother was in there. No. So this is Crystal Hefner.
Allowed to claim the language of civil rights while denying women their most basic one, the right to control their own bodies and images.
And Attorney Allred added that some images may involve women who couldn't consent because of their age. So far, the Hefner Foundation, headquartered in Illinois, has not commented.
I didn't do it because where I came from, my grandpa had already raped me for 10 years from the age of 6 to 16, and I knew what this was, and I wanted no part of it. That's why I didn't do it. Right, Zach? This is disgusting that she's trying to hide this, honestly. It is exploitation what they're doing. You'll hear. This is a new makeup, by the way.
Thank you for coming today. I'm Attorney Gloria Allred, and with me to my left is Crystal Hefner, and to my right is my associate, actually now a partner in our law firm, Allred, Rockland Goldberg, and her name is Olivia Fleshy. I'm going to read a statement, then Crystal will read a statement, and then we will be happy to answer questions. We are here today, and we will give you copies of our statements as soon as we conclude. We are here today with our client, Crystal Hefner, to announce that today we filed regulatory complaints with both the Attorneys General of California and Illinois regarding the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation. Specifically, we are asking that the Attorneys General initiate a prompt and thorough investigation of the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation's actions with regard to the late Hugh Hefner's collection of approximately 3,000 personal scrapbooks containing thousands of nude images of women, as well as Hefner's diary containing highly personal information regarding his sexual exploits, including names of women he slept with, notes describing the sex acts that they performed, and in some instances, even information tracking women's menstrual cycles.
I would like to touch base on menstrual cycles with women. When my grandpa was raping me, he literally kept track of my menstrual cycle, because that's something one of us women can say, we can get out of it, right? Yeah. Not when you got someone like that tracking your menstrual cycle, okay? Literally, to the day, telling you when you're going to have it. Yeah, I lived that life. That was my life.
It's our honor to represent Crystal Hefner who is not only Hugh Hefner's widow, but she's also a brilliant, outspoken advocate for women's rights. Crystal did not consent to having her intimate images stored by and accessible to the foundation.
Thank you, sweetie.
And we believe that many of the other women and or girls depicted did not consent either. After she voiced her concerns yesterday, Crystal was unilaterally removed as the chief executive officer of the foundation. Crystal has therefore courageously chosen to speak out on this issue today, not only on her own behalf, but on behalf of thousands
Somebody will
of
tell
other
you
women
in
and
the
possibly
comments
girls who are depicted in the scrapbooks and or referenced in Hugh Hefner's personal sex diary. Crystal is especially concerned that these scrapbooks could contain images of minor girls. Minors cannot legally or morally give their consent to be photographed naked or in sexual positions. And the law...
Okay, so Crystal was taken off the board yesterday, okay? Let's see how many people has watched this. 1,200 people have watched this. This is being buried. This is why I did not put what this title was about today. It's being buried everywhere, okay? Hugh Hefner was the biggest creep ever. I don't know why people didn't see it. I don't know why they didn't see it, but he was. And the only reason Crystal is doing this is because she's trying to protect her money. Because if these diaries get out and these pictures get out of these unders, every one of them can come back and sue her. Every one of them. Which means she won't have his money. That's the only thing that this thing cares about. But somebody in the circle somewhere wants it to come out. Knew about the diaries, knew about the pictures, knew about the videos, and even in the book that his ex did that I read, Down the Rabbit Hole, she even said that one of the strangest things that she came across in his videotapes was, and I don't know how to say this, but women with four-legged creatures, okay? Let's just say it that way. That he had an obsession with it. Not only that, but she also said that she had put one of the tapes in to see what it was. And her words, it shocked the living hell out of her. Put it that way. Okay? So that's kind of when Holly left him. Because what she saw evidently was a no-go at all. And that's when Holly packed her bags and said, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm tired of being, locked up at 10 p.m. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to see that anymore. Of course, she didn't come out and say, exactly what all went on. But she did write some things in that book. And mainly, like I said, four-legged, and how he would also do things to the four-legged baby and stuff like that. Okay? No, not this girl. This girl didn't marry him. Holly. Remember Holly, the one before Crystal? She didn't marry him. She left. And then the twins came, and then Crystal came. You guys got to keep up with how Hugh Hefner worked here. Okay? All right.
Equivocal that the possession, digitization, and or distribution of naked and or sexual images of minors is illegal. Moreover, Crystal is also concerned that some of the images in the...
It's so illegal that Crystal has it and won't give it up. Isn't it illegal to possess materials like that? We're talking about you, Hefner, Crystal Hefner, and her trying to protect her money from you, Hefner, making money off of all the women. So her holding all of this evidence of unders, minors, is highly against the law. So who does she hire as an attorney? Gloria Allred. Why? She's the one that's supposed to be for women. No, babe. No. So let's hear her explanation as to why they should not be released.
May have been taken without the informed consent of the adult women depicted, such as while they were intoxicated.
Or unders.
Adult women also have the legal right not to have their intimate photos digitized and shared without their consent, even if the original photo was taken with their consent.
But hold on, Gloria. Let's go back to the unders. Not women here. We're talking about the unders, okay? So let's back up just a few minutes and let's go back over what she actually said.
Personal sex diary. Crystal is especially concerned that these scrapbooks could contain images of minor girls. Minors cannot legally or morally give their consent to be photographed naked.
Minors. Do we get that now? Minors. Minors. So now you see what she's protecting. Because if it comes out that these girls find themselves in one of those and they didn't know they were being photographed or they had been raped and silenced, her bag is gone. And they just took her off the Playboy executive chief of staff yesterday. So somebody's wanting this to come out. And she's the one holding it. Now she's fighting to keep it and saying that it's morally, it's immoral to release it. But these are the reasons why, okay? But she can hold possession of underage children? Are you kidding me?
In sexual positions. And the law is unequivocal that the possession, digitization, and or distribution of naked and or sexual images of minors is illegal. Moreover, Crystal is also concerned that some of the images in the scrapbooks may have been taken without the informed consent of the adult women depicted, such as while they were intoxicated. Adult women also have the
Just the
legal right
possession.
not to have their intimate photos digitized and shared without their consent, even if the original photo was taken with their consent. Any distribution of the images without their consent is not just a legal violation, it's also a violation of their reasonable expectation of privacy.
Burn the whole
and bodily
bitch down.
autonomy. And in the digital age, this harm can be irreparable and immeasurable. We have therefore chosen to file two separate complaints, one in California, because the foundation is registered to do business in California, and it is where the foundation's principal place of business is located,
Burn them.
and one in Illinois.
This is what I say. If our country, and I have to say allegedly, is being ran by satanic predators, burn the motherfucker down. Like Pam Bondi said, if we arrest everyone, the whole place crashes. Good, burn it down. Burn it down. I'm going to the doctor today, sweet, and I used to do makeup in the mornings. But burn the motherfucker down and start all over. Because why do we have to continue to live like this? You see what I'm saying? It's always protect the predator. Because just like when I told on my grandpa, he got 20 years. But guess what? He filed an appeal, and after 2 years, he got out over a technicality. Oh, yes. But he admitted that he raped me for 10 years. He admitted he raped my sister. He admitted everything, but he got out on a technicality. Tell me that is, what do you tell me about that? And on Google, it's a landmark case in Missouri. Now the laws have been changed since 1992 due to how I was treated and me and my sister and what was done to us. Not only that, but they put our names out. It's crazy. Well, somehow, some way, somebody got to get them out. I mean, I honestly do not want my grandchildren growing up in a world filled with predators at all. You know what I'm saying? No.
And is
But anyway.
incorporated. We ask that Attorney General Rob Bonta of California and Attorney General Kwame Raoul of Illinois not only investigate this issue, but also take all appropriate remedial action to secure the intimate images of women in the scrapbooks and the private information about women's sex lives and bodies mentioned in the diary.
But you notice, she keeps saying women. But earlier she was saying minors. Stop saying women. Minors are not women.
Are tasked with overseeing nonprofit organizations, including the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation. Crystal and the other thousands of women depicted in the scrapbooks and or written about in Hugh M. Hefner's diary deserve the assurance that these images and this information will be handled with the utmost care
Thank you for the
and
heart.
security, and will never be accessed or distributed to anyone or any entity. We look forward to the response of the Attorneys General to our complaint. And now, we can change seats, and then you can sit over here.
That is true. That is true in Ready to Play. That is so true. And it's time for us to start being united. Instead of divided and hating one another, we need to be united. But, hey,
This
I'm
is
reporting
Crystal
it.
Hefner.
There's Crystal.
I'm speaking today for myself and for countless other women whose naked and sexually explicit images are being kept without our consent
Women
in
again.
approximately 3,000 scrapbooks, which belong to my late husband, Hugh Hefner. It is critical for the public to understand that I'm not referring to images that appeared in magazines. My focus is on how Hugh Hefner's personal scrapbooks chronicle private moments that took place behind closed doors. There are serious and unresolved concerns about the
Yes.
scope of what these books contain. The materials
3,000.
span decades, beginning in the 1960s, and may include images of girls who were underage at the time and could not consent to how their images would be retained or controlled. They may also contain images of women who did not.
Let me get this straight. She knows for a fact that there's unders in there. Okay? She knows for a fact there's unders in there. But she's doing this to protect her money because when it comes out, the unders are going after him. You see what I mean? And they're going to go after her empire. They're going to go after her money that he left her because that's all that's left. And so what right now, it's not about protecting the unders. It's about protecting her disgusting self because she went as a teenager to go be with him so she could be a millionaire. F you, Crystal. You know, she even knew. I can allegedly say, you know she knew. Okay? You know she knew. You know she saw. It didn't stop.
Is being taken in the first place. The scrapbooks include nude images, images taken before, after, and during sexual activity, and other deeply intimate moments. They contain intimate material involving women who are now mothers, grandmothers, professionals, and private citizens who have spent decades building their lives with no idea these images were still being hoarded.
Actually, Crystal, the ones that are not underage and knew that they were having their pictures taken because that's what they were there for, it's a nude magazine, it would be no problem. It's the minors that is your problem, because you know those minors see themselves as a minor and come back and sue your ass for keeping all of this under wraps for how long has he been gone? How long has he been gone? What, 16 years now? Yeah. She's set on it.
I believe they include women and possibly girls who never agreed to lifelong private possession of their naked images and who have no transparency into where their photos are, how they are being stored, or what will happen to them next. These are the reasons why I am filing complaints with the Attorneys General of California and Illinois and requesting that they initiate an investigation into how these images are being handled and stored. This is not historical documentation. This is the cataloging and objectification of women's most private details. Today, I am told the scrapbooks are in a storage facility in California.
To be honest with you, Quest, I can't tell you. Probably all of them. I am not going to vouch for not one politician, not one president, not nothing. If you are implicated, if you are anything, I'm going to say I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't care what you are. If you are implicated in anything with a under, you're no good in my book. So I've already thrown that away, okay? I do not feel that there is anyone here to protect us, to protect our children, to stop this from happening. There is no one. And Hugh Hefner was doing it right underneath everybody's noses. And we know it because Brooke Shields, how old was she when he put her in the Playboy magazine? Totally no clothes on. Baby, I know you didn't get those pictures, okay? I know you didn't get them. So it's okay. But he's the one going to be given the gifts. Right. See? That's exactly. But the only thing I can do is I can just report on it. That's it. I can report on it. I can get it out to the world. I can show people what's going on, what's being hidden. From there, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you something. Anybody in those files, Trump, anybody that I've seen, I want nothing to do with, okay? So I'm not a Trumper. I'm not a politician person. I'm not a nothing. I believe in our Heavenly Father, and I believe in protecting the children. Actually protecting the children. I have been on the stand protecting children and putting criminals behind bars for hurting children, okay? I've literally lived that, and I've done it myself. So why wouldn't I be that way now? I am just so furious that in 2016 to 2017, when I first did a deep dive on Hugh Hefner, my video had about 400,000 people. But one of the main things that everybody said throughout the whole thing is, we already knew that. And I was like, that's strange because, I always thought it was 18 and older. I never knew about Brooke Shields. And then there was other people. Yeah, I've done it on CERN too. That's a crazy whole thing. But then there was other people in the comments saying, didn't know about Brooke Shields. Had no idea. You know? So, anyways, I'm going to let you guys finish hearing it while I put my makeup on because I'm not trying to intrude. I'm just trying to put my view in as well because that's what we have to do, okay? I would say all of them. If I had to guess, every singer, every actress, actor, everybody is compromised. That's just my guess. My guess. My opinion. That's not that it's true. It's just pretty much my opinion at this point. I think that the country that starts with an I has compromised everyone and is taking over our country. And that's what I'm going to say about that. Okay?
However, I was previously told that some of the scrapbooks could be inside a private residence to be scanned and digitized. This is not archival preservation. This is not history. This is control. I am deeply worried about these images getting out.
I bet you are.
Artificial intelligence, deep fakes,
No.
digital scanning, online marketplaces, and data breaches mean that once images leave secure custody, the harm is irreversible.
Crystal. Did you really just say that? Or do you not want it to come out that your late husband was a dirty, nasty, disgusting, filthy man like 98% of our politicians and everything else we have in this world? Would that be it? Because I don't think you give an F about whether or not minors are in there because you knew they are. You know they are. That's just, you are protecting your bag and it's bullshit. Why? Because you're like, oh, I had to do all of this with an old nasty man. That's your fucking problem. And you know what? You don't deserve the money. You wasn't that good of a whore.
Failure could devastate thousands of lives. These materials are now being kept under the guise of a charitable organization, the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation, which publicly claims to stand for civil rights and civil liberties. The hypocrisy
Maybe, yeah.
is as disturbing as it is obvious. I stayed involved with the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation in part because I'm worried about these books and the women in them, and I hope the harm could finally be addressed.
Actually, Crystal, let's know the real reason that you protected these books, because you fucking knew that if they ever got out, bye-bye is your money. But somebody on that board who threw you off the board yesterday wants it out. So, good luck to you. You can hire Gloria Aldred all you want to, but sounds like they're coming out. What'd you ask? I didn't see what you asked me. You may have to ask again.
I was asked to resign from my role on the Foundation's board and was excluded from the Foundation's decision-making. The concerns I raised about consent, safety, and security were ignored. Though I declined to resign my position yesterday in direct response to my escalating concerns regarding the handling of private photos contained in the scrapbooks, I was unilaterally removed from my position as the Chief Executive Officer / President of the Foundation.
Good. Good, because maybe somebody came in there and said, you know what? Maybe somebody's father, mother, something came in there and was like, hey, I know he has these documents. Or maybe a person themselves that had this happen to them knew. and they threw her ass off of it. So she ran to Gloria and like, what do we do? It's going to be so horrible if it gets out that there's minors on there because it's going to take all my money. Well, like I said, she wasn't a good enough whore to deserve billions of dollars. Where other women worked their effing asses off and didn't get billions of dollars, and their bodies are still being shown all over the effing world.
The people who have custody of these scrapbooks do not have their own naked images in these books. They are not personally exposed, and they are not personally at risk. The burden and the danger fall entirely on us, the women in the photos. Women have the right to bodily autonomy.
Right?
We have the right to control our own likeness. We have the right to say the intimate images created under unequal conditions do not get to follow us for the rest of our lives. This is not about money. I am seeking dignity.
This is definitely about money. You knew when you went into it, this was a nude magazine. If we're just talking about women that sent in their naked photos to be in a nude magazine, not a problem. But we're not talking about that, Crystal, are we? Hell no, because you even was at the parties. All I can say is allegedly, you already knew. And why are you saying there's minors in there? Because you've already seen it. You know. Allegedly.
And the destruction of non-consensual intimate materials so that the exploitation does not continue under the banner of philanthropy. Thousands of women may be affected. This is a civil rights issue. Women's bodies are not property, not history, and not collectibles. And no organization should be allowed to claim the language of civil rights while denying women their most basic one, the right to control their own bodies and images. Thank you.
And we're not going to be handing out a copy of the complaints we filed. However,
You can stand up and you can stand up.
This is disgusting.
So, okay, yeah, Susan. Oops, all right.
I bet this was something in the will like this.
This, which I'll show you, which is the California complaint to the California Attorney General. And, hold this. And Crystal's holding
And what if it...
confirmation of the complaint.
Yeah, there's a
that we
complaint.
filed Office of the Illinois Attorney General.
But this is
on
the thing.
Raul.
Are you guys filing to the attorney generals because they may be compromised? What is it? You know, because I think that if anybody has any kind of minors on any kind of thing in any kind of compromising positions, this shit should have been out when he died. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about underage people in positions that they should never be in. We're not talking about what you're talking about, okay? We're not talking about what you're talking about. I'm not even going to talk to you right now. If you can't read between the lines of what the hell's going on, don't read it all, please. I'm an advocate for women and children who have no voices, okay? And when I reported on this and I did a deep dive on this monster years ago, I knew after he had published Brooke Shields at age 10 or so, and even in that, she writes that he pleasured himself while she was on set in front of her mother. She tried to sue her mother afterwards for allowing it to happen and her body to be out there. But nothing. She couldn't sue her, evidently, because it came back and said that your mother had the right over your body.
Complaint to the California Attorney General is something that has to be mailed, not emailed. So basically, this is the complaint form, and this is the letter that we sent by certified mail this morning to the California Attorney General. And this is the confirmation of the email complaint that we sent to the Illinois Attorney General, which was capable of being filed online with the Attorney General. So this is the confirmation that we sent it. So now, one more time, we can, this is the form for there, and this, you can like this one. So these are the forms that we sent today with our complaint, unredacted, to the Attorney General. Okay, so now.
Oh, by the way,
I'm happy to
today,
take some questions.
your letter is,
Okay, thank you. And Crystal is not going to be answering any questions.
E.
So if you have any,
Your letter's
I'll be happy
E.
to answer them. One second here. Yes, would you identify yourself if you're... Hi.
Hi. You don't have to name names, but I'm just curious, who is on this foundation board? Is it his relatives or former employees?
Okay, so your question is who's on the foundation's board? Is it relatives or other people? I can tell you that there are now no longer any relatives of Hugh Hefner on.
So what if one of those minors came back and started to work for them, and since there's no longer no Hefner, no heirs, no nothing, just her, and they're like, release his diaries, release everything, and you're fired for holding all of this, and then she runs to Gloria to protect her back. That's what I think I see happening here.
Hefner Foundation Board. At one point, Christy Hefner was on the board. Cameron, Mr. Hefner's son, was on the board. And then Crystal was on the board along with two other people. None of them are now on the board. That's all I can say.
Shit's changing, huh?
What do they want to do with these photos?
What do they?
What does the foundation want to do with these photos? Do they want to sell them? What is their
Well,
goal?
I'm going to ask you to ask them what their plan is. We are informed that they are digitizing them, but that there are not plans to distribute them. But as Crystal has so wisely pointed out,
Another thing I think,
if
when she was with him, the dates match up on the pictures that she was with him in the house living there, and she's still alive, guess who could go to jail for him? Wouldn't that be his wife? Wouldn't that be his wife? Because when you get married, you're as one. So her holding these documents all of this time, wouldn't that be his wife? And also, Jesus is king. But wouldn't that be his wife that would be left to answer to all of this? Because if the files come out the same years that she was there, and maybe she's in the files with the unders, oh, that's a whole different story, honey. That's a whole different story. Whole different story. But that's just my thoughts. These are my thoughts, my opinions. Everything is alleged. I don't know shit. I'm just a woman reporting the news.
Them, which may not be against the law. What are they planning to do after they digitize them? Or is this, is it going to forever be digitized but never distributed to anyone? To any university, to any individual, or will they ever be sold?
Go look up Brooke Shields. She was either 10 or 13, and he put her in the magazine. Brooke Shields. Go look it up. Proven fact. He put her in the magazine that way.
Mr. Hefner's private items have been sold that raise funds for the foundation. So we have a concern. We don't know.
Gloria Justin from Fox 11. What is your ultimate hope through this legal action, and would you like to see it destroyed? What do you want someone to do in instructions?
Well, if in fact there is no proof of written consent by an adult female, then I think the question is, did that female give consent? And even if she did she give informed consent? For example, was she under the influence of alcohol?
So see, that's another thing. There was a lot of rugs. There was a lot of alcohol. There was women that things were done to them at the Playboy Mansion that they have came out and talked about. And now all of the proof is right here in 3,000 diaries with videos and photos. And all of a sudden, Crystal Hefner wants to protect it because of human rights. Yeah. Human rights, my effing ass. It's because you, Crystal, trying to protect your bag and possibly your ass from going to the pen. Because she might be in the photos. We don't know. But there's something very specific here going on, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? There's something very specific going on here. And that's why she ran to Gloria Offord and was like, help me, help me, help me. This ain't about humanity. If a woman is rugged, drunk, and a minor, there is zero fucking consent. Zero. I don't care who you are. There is zero consent. And if other women are in those photos with those unders, they all need to burn. Go the fuck down. You deserve it.
That is something that I think we'd like the attorneys general to look into. And then, of course, another issue has to do with the privacy of the adult women. We don't know if they knew that they were being videoed and photographed.
Oh, so they had no idea they were going to the Playboy Mansion to pose nude, and that with the most powerful man in the industry, and there would be no cameras? Oh, okay.
Or during and after they were having sex.
Why don't you just
That
say
is
what it
something that
was
we'd like.
when they were great? allegedly, because that's what I think that this is. That's what I really think this all is. Because just like Holly said, she was the hell out of there after she found tapes of him having others with four-legged animals, and that was the most disgusting, which I agree with her, ever she had seen, and that he also on there was doing things to his own animal. So she was the hell out of there. She got the hell out of there. And all she could write was minimalist shit in that book because she was so afraid of all the people that this mofo knows. Same with Epstein shit, right? She wanted to still live, but she kind of wanted to tell her story. So the only real thing that she put in there was that. And I'm just going to say bestiality. Let's just say that. But what floored her, it was, she said in the book, from what I can remember, it wasn't just bestiality, but something much more sinister. So take that and think about that. And then now they're saying minors, and just put it all together and you might come up with why this thing is protecting the biggest monster ever created. And that's what I always believed he was. I mean, always. I have never thought that Hugh Hefner was like this, oh yes, I'd want it. Hell no. I always thought that he was just, ugh. Right? But go look at the photos. Go look at the photos. Honey, I did the deep dive. I looked at the photos. I was disgusted. I'm a woman, okay? I have 3 children out my vagina. Don't call me a fucking man. Don't.
Well, to look into. Another issue again is that if any of the photographs are of underage girls, they cannot legally consent. In other words, even if they signed a release for a consent form, they can't legally consent.
That's because, Gloria, they never consented. They were probably drugged and raped. And it was taped.
So those photos should never be out there. And personally, I don't think those photos should ever have been taken and then digitized.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But, you know, something about criminals. Have you noticed the ones that will unalive someone, they'll keep something of theirs. Or they'll take video of doing it. Same with these predators. Notice they keep videos and pictures and it's like a trophy.
Would you like to add anything to this, Olivia?
No, I think that's right.
Just that you want to see them destroyed.
Pardon me?
Would you like to see the scrapbooks destroyed?
Well, we'd like the rights of women and girls to be protected. And so we will leave it to the attorney generals to determine how best to protect those items. The fact that Mr. Hefner left these items to the foundation, if he did, and by the way, we don't have any evidence one way or another of whether in fact he did that, because we don't have any copy of any will or trust.
So you have legally nothing, but Crystal put it somewhere. 3,000 pages and images and videos dating back to the 60s. What's up, shit show? Nice to see you, babe.
Document which proves that he left it to the foundation. We're not saying he didn't, we're not saying he did, we just are aware that they have them. But, so we'd like the Attorney Generals to investigate and determine what they think is appropriate given their investigation. Again, if any of the photographs are pornographic,
You think they wouldn't be with you, Hefner?
definitely they can't be distributed and shouldn't be even maintained if they're of underage females.
Right.
If they are of adult.
So why did Crystal keep them all these years? Why didn't she, when she got them, destroy them? Why didn't she destroy this? If she was so worried about what could be in there and how it might come back to her and take her bag, why didn't she destroy this shit? Because there's more, I'm telling you.
It's still illegal to distribute pornographic photographs
Yeah.
and or video.
And to
even
have them.
if they are of adult women.
Even to have them.
So, obviously, they shouldn't be. That should be something that the Attorney Generals look into.
I do recall Crystal saying that she wanted that destroyed.
Well, I'm saying that would be a goal if, in fact, the Attorney Generals determine
So
that.
Crystal's suggestion is just destroy them. Okay, well, Crystal, you're his wife. Why didn't you take them and destroy them? Why did you keep them? See, if in fact, which they're saying that there is minors on there, and she was at that place and in those photos, her ass is gone and she knows it. And I believe that somebody stepped in and either from the past and came in and fired her ass and said, your ass is grass. That's just my opinion. I don't know, but it kind of seems like that to me. Unders means children. Either get it or don't get it. I'm not going to sit here and spell it out to you for real. I'm not. I don't even like saying it. It's fucking disgusting. But what I'm trying to say is there's something else here. Yes, cover up. Yes. And if it got out to the law, and she's in those photos, or anybody else, whoever else is in them, well, they might be going bye-bye, right? Who knows? I mean, that's what I would hope for. But in this world, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But at least, maybe, if it came out and people recognized themselves, they could sue her. And that is the problem here. They are scared. She is scared her bag is going to be gone. That's what she's scared of. She's scared that all the money that he made off of these women, off the backs of these women when he paid them hardly nothing, and they're still going around the world. And she knows it. And she just sitting there, just soaking up the money and just living this lavish lifestyle off the backs of hard-earned women and some women that never consented. And I can tell you for a fact, allegedly, that is what exactly this problem is right now. And I have been saying this for umpteen years, ever since I woke up to what the hell was going on. This country is being ran by the most evil, satanic predos in the world, okay? I would never work for him. Matter of fact, I was asked twice. When I worked in Chicago, Illinois, at the modeling agency that I worked at, I was brought in the office twice. And both times I said no. Both times. And the first time he offered me a measly $10,000. The second time he offered me $100,000. I still said no. Hell no.
That would be appropriate once they view or become aware of these materials. We're not against that, but I'm saying that would be one remedy, and that's an important goal, but in the alternative, they've got to be kept secure, and there has to be some written confirmation that they will never be distributed, ever. So we don't have an answer to...
Hey, Dee, go look up Brooke Shields, age 10 to 13, and then come back and tell me that, okay? Yeah. He put her in the Playboy magazine. Go look her up. And then come back and tell me how great you love him.
digitized, and what will happen
Or maybe,
in the future to this.
how about this? Maybe I'll look it up for you. How about that? Since, you know, you have a little bit of a problem of looking up stuff, maybe that's the problem. I'll look it up for you. Because I had all of this, and I did my deep dive on this. I think it was in the 70s. She posed when she was 10 years old. Okay? The most surprising detail to emerge after Hugh Hefner's death was that Brooke Shields had featured in Playboy publication called Sugar and Spice when aged only 10 years old in 1975. Photographer Gary Grossi received $450 to take the photographs of the heavily made up shills posing naked in a bathtub. Blank, blank, blank. Now, tell me how much you love him. Happy birthday. Tell me how much you love him. Okay? Well, I'm a woman, so I don't give a fuck what you think I am. I've had 3 children. I have a uterus. I'm going through menopause. So kiss my ass, okay? I'm not a man. And that's the sick thing. You guys don't know the difference between a man and a fucking woman. Something's wrong with you, all right? Something's fucking wrong with you. But anyway. When I did a deep dive on this sick thing, okay? That was one of the things that caught my attention. I put it onto my YouTube, but it's all over the place. What do you mean I'm reading? Okay? It's all over the fucking place. The year that I was born, 1975, 50 years ago, she was put in the magazine. What do you not understand about this? Right. It's stupid. Why do you guys talk to me like this? I don't get it. Good, Don. Get the fuck out. You're disgusting. If you like Hugh Hefner, get out of my room. Get out of my room. He has ruined so many women's lives. He has exploited so many women for pennies on the fucking dollar. Well, Crystal Hefner is over there living a billionaire lifestyle. Where are the girls? Where are the girls that posed for him and made him all that money? And the ones that didn't pose for him, that were rugged and drunk and making him all that money. and the unders. So if that's what you're going to be, stay the F away from me. Really. No, honey. It says that there are people in there that are minors and that were drugged and drunk, okay? So, anyway, right, they can't voluntary to anything, but she tried to sue her mom, and they said no, that at the time, her mom had responsibility over her, and she lost. Yeah. Oh, I've been praying that they would have done something a long time ago with him. But when things were getting ready to be done with him, he was found flat dead on his kitchen table on top of it. Which means he didn't kill himself and he didn't have a heart attack and he lived to be 91 years old with no penalties. None. So thank you, sweetheart. Thank you to everyone. And I want to say a prayer before I leave like I always do. Dear Heavenly Father, I just ask if there's any women or men in here that have been abused as a child, like I was, that you please comfort them and let them know that there are other people out here that are willing to take their under their wing, be kind to them, be their friend, understanding, because it wasn't their fault. It wasn't our fault. We didn't do anything wrong. And I pray that if there is unders in these diaries, that all of it, the truth should come out so that these ladies can get justice. Only you know what happened, Father. Only you know what happened. And I pray that everyone in this room, if they have any kind of pain, any kind of mismanagement of money, or anything bad that they're going through, I pray that you help them and guide them and open doors that only you can open, and only ways that you can heal them. Get them the perfect doctors, the right medicine, open doors for better businesses, better opportunities, better jobs, anything. Father, I just ask you to bless each and every person that watches anything that I have to say every day when I come on here live. In Jesus' precious name, most of all, I ask that you protect our children and let all of this be exposed. God, we need you more than ever right now. This is the worst evil. I thought I lived through it. But there's people that's lived through way worse, and they're living through way worse. And Father, somehow, some way, we know how it ends. You win. But we need you now. And we need all of these evil, satanic people, honestly, gone. Somewhere else, out of our country, away from children, in prisons, whatever it takes, in insane asylums, whatever it takes, Father. They should never be around children. They should not just have a slap on the hand. Our children are gifts that you gave to us so that we could raise them to be amazing people and go on and have amazing lives, and they can raise their children. But now most of the people my age, under, over, whatever, it seems like a lot of us are fighting of what happened to us as children, and still trying to strive and make it every day and live with the horribleness that we went through as children. And people will not understand unless it happens to them. And I just pray that you wrap your arms around them, Lord, and you just let them know that they are not alone. And please just protect the children, one way or another. If they're in a container, let somebody open it. If they're in a plane, let somebody save them. let something happen, Father. It's got to stop. In Jesus' precious name. Amen. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. So, I want each and every one of you to have an amazing day. And sometimes when I come live, I just report the news. It is not my choice as to whether or not what happens. But I know our Heavenly Father up above, when I died and I went to heaven and I met Him, I know He's real. And that's one thing I do know. And I don't have any gang signs. Okay? And I can dress however I want to. I'm 50 years old. And some of you people are the most evil people in the world. But I'm still going to pray for you. And I already did. So, today, I've already said the letter for the contest of the people that are in the contest. And the rest of you, have a wonderful day. I'm out of here. This ain't appropriate. Kiss my ass. This is appropriate. Okay? Everything's covered. Kiss my ass.